Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on basic number laws. In mathematics, we have basic number laws to guide us when we are doing calculations using any of the four operations. The following are the basic number laws, together with examples on how to apply them. The first one is the commutative law for addition. And here's the simple description. If you add two numbers together, you can add them in any order and the answer will be the same. Using symbols, we have the star plus the square equals the square plus the star. So if the star and the square represented different numbers, you can add them in any order. Here are some examples using numbers. 3 plus 4 equals 4 plus 3, and the answer is 7. Example 2, 12 plus 13 equals 13 plus 12, and the answer is 25. So you see how we write the numbers down in different orders, and you still get the same answer. That is the commutative law for addition. There is also a commutative law for multiplication. If you multiply two numbers together, you can multiply them in any order and the answer will be the same. So using symbols, the smiley face times the heart equals the heart times the smiley face. The smiley face and the heart represent two different numbers and you can multiply them in any order and the answer will be the same. Examples using numbers. 2 times 3 equals 3 times 2, and the answer is 6. See how we multiply them in any order? 7 times 4 equals 4 times 7 equals 28. The same again. Multiply them in any order, you get the same answer. The associative law for addition. If you add three or more numbers together, they can be grouped or associated in different ways. The answer will be the same in each case. So the word associated is just a fancy name for saying that the numbers can be grouped. Here are the symbols. If you're adding a heart, a square and a triangle, you'll get the same answer if you group the square and the triangle together and then you add the heart, or you might decide to group the heart and the square together and then add the triangle. Let's do some examples using numbers. Let's assume you're adding 3 plus 4 plus 5. If we add from left to right, that gives us 12. That's easy. Let's see what happens when we do some association. If you group the 4 and the 5 together, or associate the 4 and the 5, 4 plus 5 is 9, 3 plus 9 is 12. Let's have another look on the other slide. Let's say this time you group the 3 and the 4. See what happens this time. 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 plus 5 is 12. You get the same answer. Now we have the associative law for multiplication. If you multiply three or more numbers together, they can be grouped or associated in different ways. The answer will be the same in each case using symbols we have. If you're multiplying a heart by a square by a smiley face, you can multiply the square by the smiley face first, then multiply that answer by the heart, or you can multiply the heart by the square first and multiply that answer by the smiley face. In each case, you get the same answer. Let's look at some examples using numbers. If you're multiplying 2 by 3 by 4, we know that's 24. 2 3s are 6, 6 4s are 24. Easy. Let's see how we do it with association. If you group the 3 and the 4 together, that is, you associate those two first, 3 4s are 12, twice 12 are 24. However, if you associate the 2 and the 3 first, 2 3s are 6, 6 4s are 24, the same answer. So there's a wonderful example, a couple of examples of the associative law for multiplication. The final law is the distributive law. This is a very interesting one. The distributive law says that multiplying a number by a group of numbers added together is the same as doing each multiplication separately. The same rule applies if the numbers are subtracted from each other. So let's have a look at an example. If you multiply this smiley face by the addition of the square and the heart. See how they're inside? We've associated them together. So if you multiply the smiley face by the sum of those two, that's exactly the same as multiplying the smiley face by the square plus the smiley face by the heart. So let's see what this means. If you're multiplying 3 and you have 4 plus 5 inside the brackets or the grouping symbols or the parentheses, that's the same as 3 times 4, that is, you multiply those two together, plus 3 times 5. You multiply those two together. 3 4s are 12, 3 5s are 15, 12 plus 15 is 27. So that is the distributive law using addition. Let's do one more example. 4 outside of 5 plus 6. That is 4 times 5, which is that part, plus, because that's a plus sign, 4 times 6. 4 5s are 20, 4 6s are 24, 20 plus 24 is 44. Using subtraction, we have exactly the same thing, except there's a subtraction sign there. If we're doing this multiplication, that's exactly the same as doing the smiley face times the square minus the smiley face times the heart. And the reason we have a minus is because of that minus sign there. Here's an example using numbers. 5 multiplied by 6, take away 2. That's 5 times 6. So that part is the 5 times 6. Minus 5 times 2. That part is the 5 times 2. 5 6s are 30. 5 2s are 10. 30 minus 10 is 20. So there are some wonderful examples of how to use those basic laws using some numbers.